Hello, and welcome to Speed Feed. This is where you catch a glimpse of all the latest news, trending stories, and everything that is driving the conversation that you need to know about. There is so little outside of this show that you need to know. So much has happened over the last 48 hours since our last show. We are going to look at all the latest. Follow the feed here, all of it to the end. You're going to know everything that's trending. Also, leave me a comment and tell me where you're watching us from. And also, I'll be asking you some things, some of these stories. Give me your reactions below because so many talking points. We start with the biggest talking points and moments from Madaraka Day celebrations yesterday. Start with this guy, Felix. This guy who tried to interrupt the president's speech, and you can see he was whisked away by security very fast. Tried to talk to the president, but they were like, nah, that's not how it works. Also, a Navy officer collapsed during the military parade, and emergency medical services had to come in immediately and help him. And there were, this magnificent displays by KDF paratroopers. They're called the Green Eagles. It was a beautiful display. One of them was injured while landing. He did not land quite smoothly, and he had to be taken away by paramedics who were at the scene. Some of the moments that, from yesterday. Some of those odd moments from yesterday. Now, another talking point was the protocol of speeches. Followed Kisumu Governor Nyang' Nyong'o spoke, invited the DP, and then the DP invited the president, who in turn invited. Now, the president, usually in other celebrations, he makes his speeches, he makes a full speech, but the president had to invite ODM leader Raila Odinga to make his speech. He also paused, mid to speech to allow some foreign dignitaries to speak. There was the president of Burundi and also South African Minister of Human Settlement, Water and Sanitation. Yes, that's a long name for a ministry. Her name is Lindiwe Sisulu, who is referred to as an in-law in Kisumu, by the way, because she was married to the late Professor Roch Julu, who comes from that region. So that was another talking point, the protocol of speeches. Everybody was waiting to see who's going to speak first, who's going to speak after who, and that's how it happened. Another major talking point that dominated conversation on social media is the president's speech. Yes, and specifically his address to the judiciary. His remarks on the judiciary were around how the courts have ruled against the BBI. He also alluded to the cancellation of the 2017 general elections. He basically criticized the judiciary, saying that independent institutions, they should shoulder the burden of choice. The burden of choice is a statement that kept coming up in his speech, and his criticism of judiciary, sparked a conversation. You've seen that tweet there by Mutahi Nguni. And it's going on even now. In fact, the Court of Appeal, where the BBI case is set to be deliberated on, this morning, Justice Daniel Musinga, the newly elected president of the court, in response to the president's remarks, said that those remarks will be addressed at an appropriate time. And on that note, you should know that the BBI appeal has been formally filed at the Court of Appeal. This morning there was a case management session where the court declared that the BBI appeal case will be heard towards the end of June and early July, and a 7-judge bench will be appointed to determine the case, which will be conducted outside of the High Court in a tent. Yes, because of COVID protocols. That's how it's going to be done. Yeah, so these are some of the talking points from yesterday, from that speech, and more talking points from the president's speeches while in Kisumu. He was speaking at the launch of Kenya shipyards at the Kisumu port, and he asked Kenyans to emulate the work of their work ethic of the Kenya Defense Forces, and he added that if all Kenyans would do a quarter of what the military does, the country would be way ahead. Yeah, so President Uhuru has a very, he's inclined to love the work of the military, Now, is the president right? Do you think Kenyans should put in effort like the military, or what do you make of these remarks? Yeah, let me know your comments below as we go on. I'm going to be, asking you to comment because we are live. Yes, in case you're doubting if we're live, comment below and I'll be reading your comments as we go on with the show, right? Meanwhile, this one is a big one and I want your comments on this because this one is going viral. Everybody's talking about it because after the official celebrations were over, the DP was leaving Kisumu when he passed by Kondele and the crowd that escorted him out. I mean, look at them. Yeah, this became a topic of conversation. It was surprising to see the kind of reception he got on his way out. I mean, look at them. Look at that crowd. And of course, it's worrying because of the COVID situation in the country. But that has just passed under the rug. We just kind of slid that under the rug. And this has sparked a political conversation. I want your thoughts on this. In case you haven't seen the video, here is a video of that crowd that was around the DP on his way out at Kondele. Political pundits, political enthusiasts, please comment below. Comment on let me know. Hit me up with the comments, your comment on this, especially because of this. This has become a huge topic of conversation on social media. Right? Leave me with your comments. Yes, I'll be reading them as we go on with the show. Now, let's get into other news, because the Star reports a sad story about a 15-year-old boy who was electrocuted to death while trimming a tree at their home in Kasipul, Kabondo in Homa Bay. One of the branches he cut fell on a live wire, which touched him, and he died on the spot. So sad, man. Now, another news. In Mombasa, police are investigating a case where a man was found dead and his car sprayed with bullets in Changamwe. The case was reported anonymously, and not much is known about the circumstances surrounding that shooting incident. These are just some of the news that are happening around the country that you need to know. We're going to go through a roundup of most of them. Now, if you're an investor in the transport and logistics sector in Kenya, a report by the Kenya Association of Manufacturers highlighted the opportunities to rake in billions through investments in Ethiopian food, beverages, and dairy sectors. If you want to invest in transporting and in transporting goods to Ethiopia, this has been boosted by the revamped Nairobi-Nanyuki railway line, and the Moyale Ethiopia one-stop border. Now, this means that goods can be transported by SGR to Nairobi, then to Nanyuki, and then to Ethiopia through Moyale. You can read more about this on Kenyans.co.ke. It's a fantastic piece by Eddie Mwanza on this investment opportunity, okay? Go check that out. Now, there is a murder case that has taken a new twist in Kilifi County. A woman identified as Cynthia Akinyi. She was found dead and her body wrapped in a bedsheet in Mtwapa, and police believed by then that she had been murdered by her lover, who was a German national. But the German man was also found dead on Saturday. His death was in a preliminary report by police classified as suicide, but further investigations ruled out and indicated that the 58-year-old man did not commit suicide. He was actually pushed to his death. And so now the investigation has shifted to hunt for a woman who is believed to have committed both murders. It's a twisted love triangle. Now, in other tragic news, a Cessna 172 plane crashed in Vuria Hills in Taita Taveta, killing 2 people who were aboard the plane. This is the wreckage here, you can see. And here in Nairobi, the county government, yes, some of the news that are happening, has prepared a proposed valuation roll. Now, a proposed valuation roll, this is a document that lists all the properties in the county that are eligible to pay land rates to the county government. So if your property has been listed on the valuation roll and you don't think you're supposed to be paying land rates, you will have to pay a non-refundable fee of 500 shillings in order to file an official complaint with the county secretary to ask them to remove you from that list. And you have 28 days to do so. That's an update for property owners in Nairobi. If you know someone who owns, hit them up. Let them know that. Now, the Kenyan international goalkeeper Patrick Matasi, he was rushed to hospital yesterday in Kapsabet after being involved in a road accident together with his wife and child. Matasi lost control of the car after a tire burst that led to the accident. You can see the state of his car here. His family said that he was complaining of chest pains after the accident and he had to undergo several scans, but everyone was alive, including his wife and the child with minor injuries. We wish them quick recovery. Now, still on a sad note of people involved in road accidents, Kameme FM presenter Jeff Njoroge, he was involved in a road accident also yesterday, although people were talking about him, asking if he's fine. It happened in Roiro after a head-on collision. He spoke afterwards and said that he was safe. So, but sad though, because his car was really wrecked. Now, in another sad story from the coast, the bodies of twins were retrieved by divers in the Indian Ocean after the two drowned on Monday in Gassi in Kwale County. Now, according to Citizen News, the two boys were swept away by strong waves after working on their family farm, and they went to play on the shores of Indian Ocean. And visitors in the area have been advised to be cautious, in order to avoid similar incidents of high tides. And in another sad story, the body of an 8-year-old girl who had been kidnapped last weekend in Kitengela was found around an area called Orata, still in Kitengela. The parents of the child reported the case to the police after the kidnappers started asking them for 300,000 shillings. But sadly, the body of the child was found dumped somewhere near a river, and the body was taken to Kitengela Hospital mortuary. And still on crime news, 6 people linked to a vehicle theft syndicate in Nairobi they're going to remain in police custody in Kileleshwa, according to Nairobi News. They're going to remain in police custody for 10 days. So the 6, they allegedly ran a crime syndicate that hires cars with fake documents. So a guy pretends to be hiring, if you have a car hire business, someone will come and they'll give you fake documents, and then they will steal your car and then refix it for resale. That's what's happening. Now, a Kenyan manager at a mobile money lending firm was conned of 9 million shillings by a Ghanaian man who claimed to be able to perform miracles and turn fortunes around. You can see here. Okay, let me give a bit of a backstory. The lady in this case, she met the Ghanaian on a dating app, and the man claimed that he was able to get her promoted at work and do other things if she could even fall in love with him. According to DCI Twitter, the two started a relationship, and the lady transferred about 9 million shillings to the man. But upon visiting his place in Athi River, she found witchcraft paraphernalia, and she was perturbed, and she ended up reporting this case. I don't think I'm doing this story justice. You should read the full version on DCI Twitter. The person who writes for DCI Twitter just explains it. It sounds like reading a composition. It's funnier than I'm actually putting it. Yeah, but a lady was conned of her 9 million shillings. Yeah, I'll be reading your comments after this. Let's talk about Babu. We know him for many things. As a politician, as a holder of many degrees, and Kenyans on Twitter, they never let his name get mentioned without DJ Evolve coming up along it. But that's not why we're talking about him today. We're talking about him because of these pictures he posted yesterday, and the message he posted here. He took the moment to thank Mama Ida Odinga, for teaching him to love Jesus and be a good father. In the picture, you can see him here. He's being sent to get. Is he being sent to get to either go place the handbag or bring the handbag? Yeah, you can see he's become Mama Ida's friend who has taught him to love Jesus and be a good father. Shall we read your comments? Yes, let's get your reactions. More of this. We have about 10 more stories to go through. But yeah, I want to read your comments because we are live, and why not? Why not? Yes. Let's check out your comments here. Just give me a second. I want to whip them out, especially because of that that moment where the DP was in Kondele, where he was getting out that crowd. It's become a huge topic of conversation. Nehemiah Kipto is saying nobody's above the law. That's a comment about the president and his criticism of the judiciary. Manjege Masanse, I don't know what that means. Kush OG. David Shikala, you tuned in from Kibera in DC. Good to see you. Tony Kongo, I think KDF are doing a good job. They deserve to be given more government projects onwards to make the Big Four agenda efficient. Yes, those are some of your comments here on Facebook. Yeah? Shall we go on with some more news? Now, 3 NGO directors, they have been charged with supply fraud after disappearing with tanks worth 2 million shillings. According to The Nation, the 3 have been placed at Kimani police station till the 7th of June after they were arrested last week. The tanks were delivered to the offices of an NGO called Development Aid Africa. Yeah, that's the NGO in question. And the NGO was supposed to pay for the tanks upon delivery, but they all vanished, including the directors in question, who, were traced through the help of telcos. But why would you steal tanks? I have many questions. Like, tanks? What's happening? I'm so confused about that story. Meanwhile, Kenya will allow students, patients, and their caregivers who are stuck in India to return to the country. Kenyans have been stranded in India for weeks after flights were suspended due to the COVID situation in India. But the High Commission in India has said they will allow Kenyans who are stuck there to start traveling back. That's just an update. Now, in other news, abroad, Malcolm Bidali, he's an outspoken Kenyan activist who has been charged with spreading disinformation in Qatar. Now, he was arrested early this month from his home in Qatar and has been in solitary confinement for nearly 3 weeks in an undisclosed location. He said that he received money to write blogs against Qatar. And that's why he's in trouble with Qatar. Now, in the case of Mohammed Bashir's murder, the FBI, they have made a statement that they will no longer be carrying out the investigations in the case. And according to sources quoted by The Star, the FBI withdrew from the case, stating that it is purely a Kenyan matter. It's a Kenyan issue, despite Bashir being an American citizen as well. Now, meanwhile, in Nairobi, a widow and her son, they lost a case against the government over a 250 million property that was demolished about 10 years ago in Eastleigh near Moi Air Base. Esther Jerry is a woman who sued the government, and she argued that the demolition was done without warning and she wanted compensation for her and her son, but the judge ruled that she did not prove beyond reasonable doubt that the property was fully approved for development. So she has lost the property and the case as well. Now, we had earlier highlighted the story of a Turkish billionaire who had been living in Kenya. His name is Salahuddin Gulen, and he's a nephew of exiled Turkish cleric Fethullah Gulen. In case you don't know the details about the story, the Gulen family has a lot of problems with the Turkish government. You might want to check it out. Now, he was living in Kenya. He disappeared while on his way to the DCI on Kiambu Road, and it was speculated that he had been abducted by Turkish intelligence officials. And that storyline seems to be true because he was found in Turkey, and his family here in Kenya, they are going to file a legal complaint against the Kenyan government for sending him to Turkey because there was a case ongoing that was challenging his extradition to Turkey. It was just a few days before that case was determined, but he was abducted to Turkey. Now, in another case, a company called Trans-South Conveyors, they have won a case against KRA where they accused KRA of changing dates while calculating due import duty for a consignment of sugar that the company imported in 2007 from Egypt. Yeah, this case is from 2007. It's just okay. We're in Kenya now. The judge in this case ruled that the matter, in the manner in which KRA changed the date, made the trader Trans-South, incur undue duty, and the goods were still never released after they were impounded. And just like that, this company has won a case worth $500 million, but decades later. Now, we're almost done, right? We're almost done. Yeah. We have a lot. Outside of Speed Feed, there's very little that you will need to know because these are updates on news that are trending today, okay? And Uhuru Highway, it was supposed to be fully opened on Monday, but Kenya extended that closure to today. Of course, the extension of the closure was to allow for the contractor to get sufficient time to complete upgrades needed on that section of the road. So from tomorrow, normal traffic is going to resume on Uhuru Highway. All right. And, this one, when you get some time today, or if you can bookmark this, it's a story on Kenyans.co.ke. Go read this. It's about unusual wills that have been left by Kenyan billionaires. Now, from allocating millions of shillings to the maintenance of their graves after they are gone, to leaving a significant chunk of their property to their in-laws, these Kenyan billionaires went overboard to ensure that their wishes are honored. Check out that story on Kenyans.co.ke. I promise it's a fantastic read, by the way. Yeah, it's a fantastic read on rich people business. Yeah. Other news. Let's talk about our director Felix's homie, Elsa Majimbo. Yeah, she was in an interview with a channel called AB Talks, and she stated that Kenyans did not treat her right, and now she has a new home in South Africa. Now she prefers to live there, and she isn't apologetic about it. Here's a snippet of that interview.
I see so many advantaged people. Anyone who is lighter skinned will always be treated better in every aspect.
Do you not like school because you feel it's old school and the systems are old and they haven't been updated? Or is it because you had a bad personal experience like bullying or racism?
Oh, both. Definitely both. I have a very bad relationship with Nairobi. I think I've faced a lot of bullying there. It really did seem like everyone in the city was against me. So I have a home in South Africa, and I'm really glad I do, and I feel safe there, but Kenya is not that place. We sat on a table, and they said some really, really hurtful things. I'll never forget the things they said on that table. That was really horrible, and I really cried. I cried for days. That's...
Elsa is not happy with Kenyans. Yeah, you all have not been kind towards her, and I'm happy for her that she has found a new home in South Africa. Yeah, even if you guys get mean to me, I will also leave and will never come back. Yeah, I totally understand. Yeah, have a tech update for you now. Since podcasting has become very popular, Facebook is going to jump on the bandwagon, to make sure that users are engaged on the platform instead of leaving to listen to audio programs on other apps. They have launched this thing called audio live rooms in some parts of the world. It's going to roll out later to everyone, but we will soon have Facebook live audio. It's like that app called Clubhouse. Or Twitter Spaces. So Facebook is also trying the same because audio is big, right? Yeah, radio is still here with us, and podcasting is becoming a thing. Everybody and their cousin, they're having a podcast. Yeah, so Facebook is going to be providing that audio, Facebook live audio. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens in there, right? All right, let's read some comments here. Thank you so much for your comments on Facebook. Dam is talking about Majimbo with another gimmick. You think it's a gimmick? I think it's real. She wants to relocate and live in South Africa. Yeah. If Kenyans are mean to you, would you move to another country, Dam? Yeah, please. I personally would if I found better opportunity, but no, I wouldn't. No, I'm just joking. Now, Adongo is saying Siendio alisema dawari yake ni 4 million. Well. Kenyans and Elsa Majimbo, we have a love-hate relationship. David, I've read that comment from David, who says he's watching from DC in Kibera. Thank you so much for watching Speed Feed. That is your latest update of the latest trending news and topics. Yeah, that's all you need to know today. If you don't watch any other news today, you'll be pretty much informed of what is, driving the conversation today. My name is Kimani Mbugua. We'll see you again tomorrow, same place, same time on Speed Feed. Goodbye.